Alrighty, this is again the reality of what you're looking at here is a door cracked open, and this fanning out of light, this is engineer light. That's all impossible light activity. It has nothing to do with the actual sun and the door being open. This is demonic. It's as demonic as the light being above on the ceiling. This has nothing to do with the door being cracked open either. It remains at all hours of the day, going down the side of the wall. And framing on the floor. This light activity is occurring while you're looking at engineer light piercing through the peephole. None of this is sunlight, and this concentrated light that is fanning out into the depths of the apartment is impossible light activity, and it's also fanning into the apartment on the ceiling as well. And this is again when I crack the door open. This is the environment where the entity at moments ago at 10, like I documented on podcast, as I referenced the specific environment, referenced defendants like Linda Reyes, who are all going to prison. They're engaged in federal stalking. It's not changing the fact that they're going to federal prison. This is evidence revealing the pattern of the unnatural environment, legally referred to as a specific environment, being a direct indicator with regard to keeping the evidence, putting the gang stalkers in prison and mental asylums, putting them away for engaging what is documentation that is being kept under surveillance. It's not evidence that's going to keep any of the defendants out of prison. None of this is a natural environment in the first place that's relevant to understanding and recognizing where the P.O.C. is underway and how the P.O.C. is executed. Not only that, the entity is engaging in what is a real-time vacillation of that environment, meaning the engineer light that was a thick bar of light that was right here is no longer there, but engineer light remains. The engineer light remains. This is as supernatural as me opening up the front door and engineer light fans through on the floor and fans through on the ceiling. It's the same environment when Tracy Banks is at 7 in the morning walking out and the fake sun is not yet shining brightly over her apartment, where it remains at all hours of the day. Like I stated, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m. The fake sun is captured at every hour during the day over Tracy Banks's apartment. All right, that is speaking to the P.O.C. The environment inside of the apartment changes as I capture podcast, and that environment is supernatural. Sunlight from the sun outside is never creating the light activity that's inside, and no cloudy day or sunny day ever creates concentrated light coming through the peephole. It's not the product of sunlight either. And this engineer light that's fanning through on the floor, that is fanning through also on the ceiling above, while engineer light is at all times remaining on the ceiling, regardless of what side of the front door the fake sun is on. This is not sunlight. This is stalking with engineer light, and it is supernatural, and the concentrated, orange concentrated engineer light. I want you to hear City of Ontario. Again, that is Paul Leon's removal from office while the City of Ontario, in concert with the demon-possessed person over 55, is crossing path. An engineer light that fills the apartment, and they're walking in that engineer light. Okay, that's P.O.C. And that's actually a psychopath that was waiting on cue to engage in crossing paths with the Ontario Police Department. Okay, that's the entity that's gang stalking in concert with Tracy Banks, the same Ontario Police that's being disbanded, crossing path on Vine Avenue while the City of Ontario crosses path. That's amplified audible activity, while a psychopath that's monitoring my genitalia living at the venue under the fake sun that's directly over the apartment, and doing so again in an environment where none of this is the product of sunlight. That's where Ontario PD is gang stalking while Ontario International Airport crosses path, and the City of Ontario is surrounding the people of the state at Woodside Senior Apartments with evidence that's putting all of them in prison and mental asylums. Okay, so this is Paul Leon's criminal conduct. The City of Ontario, the local government, is used to engage in the elements of monitoring together. This is again the entity that is engaging in what is molesting my body with Tracy Banks while this demon paces in and out of the apartment, while engineer light activity creation presence in that environment is house surveillance is underway, and the entity is also keeping the evidence about their gang stalking tactics under surveillance while a fake sun is already on the record over me at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, where the City of Ontario is engaging in the same thing, stalking in commercial planes. The City of Ontario is gang stalking by the Ontario Police Department. The City of Ontario is gang stalking by the Ontario Fire Department, like I've documented. I've documented the City of Ontario gang stalking with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, 12:53 p.m. All right, 12:42 p.m. The City of Ontario gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department literally at all hours of the day while this fake sun remains over the same sky space, where you're witnessing the people of the state crossing path right here on the sidewalk. That's just one person, which is activity creation. They're all gang stalking inside of this apartment, where I want to be clear, this is the entity that has the same light source, which is directly over And it is the subdued presence, nonetheless presence, which is not sunlight, and it's not sharing an environment that's naturally occurring at the same time in LA, where the Los Angeles Police Department, where under the corrupt leadership, as equally as corrupt as Mike Lorenz, Michael Moore, and Dominique Choi. These are the demons that are championing the being subject to the prosecution, where the state is gang stalking in the same exact supernatural environment. That's what is shared about the Ontario Police gang stalking and the Los Angeles Police gang stalking under a fake sun that is simultaneously, which is speaking to supernatural, simultaneously at the same time of year, at the same time, remaining over me while I'm documenting demons over 55 crossing path on the sidewalk. At the same time I open the door, that's a demon that's lurking in the path, waiting to engage in what is activity creation, while the airport is a means of amplified audible activity, and the demons gang stalking, lurking in the path, driving on Vine Avenue, incriminating all the demons in units 33 through 64. This is how the POC is just executed right now in this video. This is where Linda Reyes is gang stalking on April 25th, 2025 at 10:25 a.m. That video starts at 10:25 and ends at 10:33 a.m. and you will see the fake sun right here. This is where the fake sun is right now, and you all would also know at 11 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, the fake sun is still right here. Where the Ontario Police cross path in this video, the Ontario International Airport cross path in this video, the people of the state cross path in this video, with knowledge of the fact that I'm documenting them, and you are aware of what is their knowledge while they're still engaging with impunity federal group stalking and monitoring on video and on podcast, while I'm documenting them speaking to the worthiness of disbanding the Ontario Police, removing the Ontario International Airport, removing Paul Leon from office, putting Tracy Banks in a mental asylum, putting all her co-defendants in units 33 through 64 in prison and in mental asylums where they belong. Where psychopaths that engage in targeting one person together, that's where they belong. Okay, everybody at Woodside is losing their federal housing benefits while gang stalking is underway amongst the elderly who are relying on the same government that's gang stalking with them to pay a percentage of their rent. It's 11:22 a.m. This is P.O.C. The entity is keeping this fake sun and the subdued fake sun, the inevitable presence of light activity, which is subdued, and it's only because I'm documenting. You've seen the engineer light reach into the depths of the apartment on another day when the demons had more confidence. The demons, nonetheless, are very short-sighted, very forgetful, and that's why I'm able to capture the fake sun on the next day and the day after that and last week, which remains relevant probative evidence. That is disbanding the police department for gang stalking, disbanding what is prosecuting the mayor's office that's gang stalking with the police department, removing Michael Gherkin, the chief that's gang stalking with the fire department, that I've documented at Woodside under the fake sun, which you know is here after 12 p.m. which is relevant to then again the gang stalking police. That is, you're juxtaposing this crime scene where you're looking at the supernatural environment where surveillance by demons is underway. The demons include the local government. That's what's relevant with the juxtaposed crime scene in Los Angeles, where LAPD uses a lot of money and manpower and kept me under surveillance, and I documented that as well. Both under the subdued fake sun, which is here, and you've also seen it when it's not subdued at all. You've seen it when engineer light is covering this door, and engineer light is piercing so concentrated that it's on the kitchen wall, and I'm documenting while I open the front door, the light coming through the peephole, moving across the wall. I've documented all of this in evidence already. This is an environment that is defying nature, while the police, while the airport, speaking to the national security threat that they are, and that's why you disband such kidnapping agencies such as the Ontario Police. They are always demonstrating in video, like they did now, not helping the people of the state. That's not helping for them to cross path, but this is what the entity is engaging in, as though it's some distraction from prosecuting Tracy Banks and every other gang stalker at Woodside. It's not. Linda Reyes is going to federal prison. As you see her crossing path on April 25th at 10:25 a.m. This is the same environment where the Ontario Police are gang stalking, as you visually see them crossing path. This is what Linda Reyes is doing in concert with the Ontario Police. She's going to federal prison, while her co-defendant very foolishly, like Tracy Banks, very foolishly against all of her co-defendants who she's incriminating. That's the same thing with the state, gang stalking with the people of the state. Understand how that criminal conduct works together. It is currently 11:25 a.m. where the entity is keeping the fake sun right here, like you've also seen well after 5 p.m., 5:57 in fact, where that same Ontario Police Department is flying over this same building, where that same fake sun that you see, it is subdued, and you've also seen it when it's not subdued at all, and it's shining in all of its brilliance, where the demons are very highly unintelligent, not appreciating the fact that this is evidence going to be prosecuting them, the city, the state. The entity is engaging in what is keeping the fake sun at 5:57, where the same police department is exhibiting severe mental illness, flying in circles over the apartment building, while they are doing the same thing, keeping the evidence under surveillance. Engaging in very foolish criminal acts where demons lack self-control as you document them and as you reference them, so they arrive likely in helicopters, because that's what I documented on the day I'll reference that video for you, when they begin flying in helicopters while I'm documenting the people of the state in Los Angeles, where the entity is protecting gang stalkers, that I give more of a focal point to. The more that the entity tries to protect any gang stalker, I will hone in on those gang stalkers and make sure that all of their information is exposed while I'm prosecuting them, especially while I remain subject to the threat of federal group stalking and monitoring, and the demons are trying to protect themselves and their reputations and their identities. That's entirely absurd. Okay, this is the purpose of federal group stalking, monitoring, and prosecution of a corrupt government, and disincentivizing the demon-possessed population, the people of the state, from acting with the government. All of your information will be exposed when you're gang stalking. You can anticipate that. It is currently 11:26 a.m. where that specific environment, where Tracy Banks is gang stalking with her co-defendants who are all over 55, monitoring together, doing so in an environment that defies nature. Also, while they are monitoring the evidence, that orange-colored engineered light that you're supposed to ignorantly acknowledge as sunlight is subdued now while you're exposing the pattern of conduct. But the evidence is already on the record where the fake sun's reflecting off of these vehicle windshields, where the engineered light is filling the apartment and it's creating the shadows on the inside of the apartment when the fake sun is still here after 2 p.m. In this video, which you're mindful of when you see the Ontario Police gang stalking in that engineered light under that fake sun, and the Ontario International Airport gang stalking while that fake sun is over, and the people of the state gang stalking while that fake sun is over. You're not forgetful of the fact, rather, that the fake sun remains here, which is why you prosecute under the totality of circumstances. And the totality of circumstances dictate and prove that the entity is keeping the evidence about itself under surveillance. And they're very imprudent and unintelligent and woefully unprepared as a defendant for domestic terrorism in California and in the U.S. It is currently, again, 11:27 a.m. This is P.O.C.